another episode of Juggling Chainsaws Rooftop Interviews. We're here back again in the Upper East Side. It's a beautiful sunny day. We just missed a giant rainstorm. I'm here with my good friend Sergei Revzin. How are you, Sergei?
Doing well. How's it going, Andrew?
Thank you very much for coming and speaking with us today.
Thank you for coming to my rooftop.
Today we're going to be talking about a little different topic than what I usually talk about. Usually I talk a lot about grief and death and coming past that and working past that. Today I'm going to be talking more about love. What makes the idea of love so attractive to you?
Because there's so many different definitions of love, and it depends on the person that the relationship is with, you know, but I think no matter who the person is that you love, whether it's, you know, a girl or a guy or your parents or your siblings, love is kind of means that you appreciate the person for who they are. You know, you do everything that you can to help them better themselves if that's the case, but in the end of the day, you will love them for who they are, and every day you find something new to love about them. And so I think that's the idea that's most attractive to me.
People in the world experience these two things. They experience heartache and they experience death of a loved one. And I find it so fascinating because I feel like there's such extreme emotions and such extreme pain involved with both of these that I find that so fascinating. The human spirit can experience both of those and still keep going, and I don't know, I just wanted to get your view about that.
I have, in my personal experiences, felt those hardships in some way. I can relate some way. And I would say, and you hear other people say this too, I'm not the first one to say this, but you're right. I mean, there are a lot of parallels that you can draw. I mean, the feeling of losing, you know, a loved one to disease, for example, and the feeling of a terrible breakup, whether it's marriage or even a relationship that you might have been in for 3 months, that you feel super in love with a person. Those feelings are kind of very similar. That feeling of loss, that feeling of helplessness, they're very similar. And it's you probably, actually reading your book, I was thinking about that while I was reading it. I was thinking about how similar feelings must be. And really, if anything, to help the person realize that the emotions that they're feeling at that exact minute, or that exact hour, or week, or month, however you know, however long the process takes for them, at some point they will feel better. If anything that somebody can take away from those two things is, sure, you might never forget that person, you might never forget the pain of losing that relationship or losing that person, but it will get better, and you will have a much different outlook on it than you do now at some point in the future.
My last question I'd like to ask you, as like an everyday guy who's been in love, had relationships both far and long, what sort of advice could you give for those who are just falling into love, or those just falling out of love?
I don't know. I guess the one thing I would say that has stayed true throughout my relationships, in the beginning, you know, no matter who it is, people say like love is blind. It's almost cliche, but it's not necessarily that you're like 100% blind to every flaw that the person has. You just choose to oversee it. And you know, you might think that they might change that about themselves, you'll be able to help change that, or it doesn't matter that much. But the point is, you're never going to see it the first 3 months or even 6 months of a relationship. Take your time, you know, find out, learn more about the person, learn about how your relationship is going to work. There shouldn't be a rush.
Well, thank you so much for letting me come to your roof and interview you.
Sure. Thanks,
check out Juggling Chainsaws, the book, on Amazon. Anything for you?
No, not really.
All right.
You know, you guys will find me if you need to.
All right. Well, thank you again. This is Sergei, and thank you for joining us on Juggling Chainsaws Rooftop Interviews. Take care.